Alright, so this round has a ton, and I mean a ton, of really powerhouse plays as well as just missteps along the way. So, being that it's a 5-minute round, so here we go. This is taking the veil, pretty standard. I don't double veil. I thought about it, but I didn't double veil just because VLK doesn't, half of their guild doesn't take the veil. So I decided to just go in, and sadly I wasn't able to turn my camera once again. Having issues with the mouse there. Otherwise, I could have really capitalized on the fact that half their guild wasn't invised. Otherwise, we get wells down here, and the key to these wells is we didn't place them on VLK, we placed them way ahead of where they would rotate. And what this does is this forces two people out of position, an Ellie and a warrior, and we end up getting the kill on both of them. So you see how many times in the previous video I mispredict which way to rotate, and we force that through the way we placed our wells. We didn't place them anywhere near VLK, we placed them on where we were instead. So VLK had to go, oh, let's not dive in and bomb Sin right now, we're going to have to go around, wait for a second, right? And in that go around, wait for a second, somebody leaps in or somebody misrotates, and we get a kill from it. So we end up taking a warrior and an Ellie because of that misrotation. So here, the rest of up until now is pretty standard. We ended up getting a Necro with a nice flurry somebody, and I don't think we get the kill. No, we don't get the kill. They rally up. I try to get some life blasts in, but they're way too in the center of the train now, and I have to do my job, get my wells down. Now, I didn't have suffering up because it was placed a little bit late last time, so I ended up putting power down just for the ground control. It's still going to show up as a red ring to them, so it's just mind games at that point. I throw out some life blasts at this elementalist until he puts up magnetic aura, in which case I can't focus him anymore, and I untarget him and begin to do something else. Now, when I get knocked down there, I thought the gank was going to jump on me, so I prematurely plagued just to keep myself safe. Turns out they didn't jump on me, but that's fine. I end up just kind of going in, trying to get some poisons down before dropping it and pulling off my heal. Now I have my suffering up, and I start casting that just so that as corruption comes up, it's already down. And so they're walking through that as we regroup right now, and I try to throw out an interrupt, but I think the Mesmer and the Thief evade, and I don't really get any damage done here. Now I start up a life transfer, and the reason is to just pop any Mesmer clones that may be around as he tries to set up on me, or anybody else for that matter. Now I dark path into the other side of their train as I life blast the Necro. Sadly, once again the Necro rallies, and we weren't able to take him down. I get some heavy deeps into him, and I'm not sure if I actually get it down. No, he goes into Death Shroud. I just pressure him really hard. And as I get closer, the bonus damage racks up, and it takes me a few seconds, so that tells me that this Necro is extremely tanky, probably running full PvT, and we end up killing him there finally. Now, here, I get a really nice well bomb going on, and they scatter. You see VLK scatter right now. Half the guild is on one side, half the guild's on the other, and they rotate. Now, we could have really capitalized on this bomb, but instead we actually end up taking a shit ton of pressure. I fear off of where they were trying to bomb as I put a well of power down. Now, I sit on here just to cover Condi myself in terms of just making sure that as things come onto me, they're going to fall off, and I'm able to kind of counter it that way. I try to get a greed heal off, even though I knew I was going to get pulled in, and I do end up getting pulled in. I wasn't too upset about that because I knew that was going to happen. I get a life transfer off. Sadly, I had weakness on for half of that, so it didn't end up being too fat, but I still got some deeps out on some targets. Now, my wells are coming back off cooldown, and I throw them kind of right on top of VLK. I want them to move. We're really pressured right now, and I want to help out my allies by moving VLK. I try to get off a daze as they go to hard res an ally, because they don't really have any banners left anymore, but sadly they all had stab. I end up taking a warrior down, but he rallies presumably off a kill. I don't think they have banners, so I take him right back down again. And here, instead of just stomping or doing whatever, I decide to do an Axe 2 channel to gain my life force back before going in to the fray again. I was going to heal, but I saw that a Guardian and a Thief were behind me, so I decided to dodge. I ended up evading something. I wasn't sure if it was a CC or damage, but nonetheless, it was going to be something key to my demise, so I'm glad I dodged instead of healing. I ended up getting the heal off a couple seconds later, but obviously as the fight rotates, I get one well down at my feet as they try to cleave me out, and sadly we don't have banners at this point, and I end up dying. This is the end of the round. There's nothing, there's no more DPS on our side. We just have a couple heavies left, and that's it. And so sadly the round slowly closes out after a 5-minute shitfest. So I was able to stay up until pretty much the end, and DPS all the way through. Just sadly they won the rally war throughout halfway through the round. They just kept getting rallies as our guys downed. This round could have gone either way, to be honest. Okay, so this round, a few things happen, but you'll kind of see how this goes. To start off, just once again, we do a really close veil, which ends up working in our favor. We win the initiation, I believe. So here we go. I get the 5 pulls me out. I get some marks down, and here we go. We're gonna get a fat ass well bomb. Ooh, delicious, nutritious fucking wells. I dodge out and get a heal off, pretty cleanly actually. And then here, this is where we make a trade. So I get immobilized, and I get a clean fucking life transfer off on their train. Sadly, with the weakness and all, I try to plague through it, but I end up going down. So I could have had, like, we could have hit them as they were training me down. I lasted quite a while, considering it's their entire fucking train. And I can't dodge, right? I'm not even kiting around. I'm immobilized the whole time, and I was able to just kind of eat up the damage for a while. But we end up making the trade for their DPS kind of periphery warrior for me. And in my opinion, it might just because it's my life, but in my opinion, that's not a fucking worthy trade at all. In the end, I'm going to do much more work than their periphery warrior. But nonetheless, hey, things happen, I guess. So here we go. We're just kind of buffing up, getting ready, gearing up, and here we go. We're going to go up and veil very shortly. Now I'm going to dodge out the static, and then I get pulled out of stealth from the Dolyak from my Warhorn 5, and I just get blown up by the gank. Now I do end up surviving that initial pursuit, but they continue, and I stun break, try to cleanse with Well of Power, try to tank up as much as I can with Death Shroud, but you know, it's just eventually it's too much pressure. The Periphery Warrior plus all that Mesmer Burst. We end up getting him down because he tunnel visioned really hard and got left behind, but I'm going to go down very shortly here. I panic hit my RP walk button and didn't realize it. I thought I was crippled. I was asking for help, but you know what, at the main thing is that I panic buttoned my RP walk. I guess is what happened there after watching the video. So I go down pretty much solely because I turned on my RP walk and was stuck. Basically not even moving, sitting duck in the water, whereas I could have actually been traveling around and rotating properly. And you can see that my pants are fucking completely smashed by this point. We've been battling for like 2 hours. So that's that for these VLK Wake rounds on August 4th. Last round, sadly, was the saddest performance of my life, but oh well, what can you do?